Hey everyone, welcome back for another tank review, and today we are reviewing the new Tier 7 British Premium Churchill VII AVRE. It was released today, and my initial impression, or when I saw the release of another AVRE, I wasn't happy about it. I'm not a fan of adding more derp guns, considering how much the community disliked the Tier 10 AVRE, and also because we had a trailer and there was no news of this specific tank in the trailer either. So this tank was kind of a surprise. I just woke up and saw this tank and I wasn't happy. But let's go over the pro and cons list, so to justify why I don't like the tank or why I like the tank. I mean, I don't, but let's go over pros and cons. So this isn't a tier 10, it's a tier 7. So this will not always be top tier. So that's one good thing about the tank, comparing it with the tier 10 version. Second, it's a heavy. So it does not get the camo benefit that tier 10 AVRE has, as well as the camo net on heavy is not as effective comparatively on a medium. And then the third is it is not as fast, it is slow. So once it commits to a position, it cannot really rotate. So these are the three reasons because of which it's not as broken as the tier 10 version. Slow speed, no camo, as well as it will not be top tier. And I just full pen that light tank over there. Now let's see what's common between this tank and another tank. Both these tanks have a huge cannon for its tier. This tank will still outtrade the same tier and demolish the lower tier tank. And usually the players at tier 6 or 5, they're not as experienced, so it's going to suffer more. And I just penned a tier 9 Conqueror, by the way. And both the shells are hash shells. And the thing that I dislike the hash the most is you don't need to aim at weak spots. You can just RBRT and you will pen. This tank, another similarity of this tank with the tier 10 is it doesn't have that much frontal gun depression, but it does have decent or very decent side gun depression, which again, it's not as much of an issue because this tank is center mounted. It's not front mounted as AVRE. So like in AVRE, it can play hull down very effectively. This tank can't. However, this tank can side scrape. So it's plus and minus. So this tank won't be as controversial as the tier 10 version, but my concern is, as I was saying, adding tanks where you don't need to aim. Why the sudden need to add more and more high alpha tanks? We got Ruthless, we have T58, which is an autoloader at 750 alpha. We have AVRE, Nemesis, and now at tier 7 we get this tank. Why is this? In my opinion, just reduces the need for new players to learn anything. Why would you want to learn or understand the tank you will play or you'll grind if you can just play this tank and just RBRT? You don't need to do anything. Even if you're bottom tier, you'll still do damage. And if you're lucky, if you know a little bit, you might even pen them. I was surprised when I penned that light tank though. So that's the reason I don't like this concept. Will I buy this tank? Now, I don't think I can tell you if you should buy it or not, because that's depending on your play style or whatever. But I personally will not get this tank. The other reason is this is a premium, and if you think you will make a lot of silver with it, that won't happen. And the silver won't be that much either, because the best way to make silver is in Cold War, Era 2. I mean, currently Era 2 is most balanced. And if you really only play World War II, even if that's the case, I would say getting a tank that at least requires some sort of knowledge where you improve your game skill. So I won't buy this tank for making premium, making silver, and also because I don't like the concept of hash. However, it won't be as broken as the tier 10 version of it. So last game was a tier 9 battle. I was bottom tier and I got a couple pens. Now this is where the problem will be. Of course, you won't be top tier every time, but in this game I was. And the ability to out trade even with standard shells, I think is just too demoralizing for new players that are grinding tech tree lines. Well, of course they can take the option to just get this tank as well. And the other thing, sometimes I've noticed people say that you should just learn how to pen this tank or how to out trade. Well, if I am making a video, I can tell you that I understand all that. The people that complain about the tank are also very experienced and they understand what to do, and they do it very, very effectively as well. But they think about the game health. So I had a standard shell. I shot at Hellcat. I think I hit his gun, so wasn't able to pen. Still did 200. So it's not that we don't know how to handle the tank. It's just we think about the overall health of the game, not in terms of sale, but how when you get a little bit more experience, how much you enjoy the game, and how much if you will enjoy if you like to play 40 plus games or 30 plus games a day. If you're new, you still don't understand different mechanics of the game, this tank you'll enjoy it a lot, and that's why people enjoy the tank a lot. Because, and I full time that guy by the way, 600, because it kind of reduces the gap between day 1 and day 1000. But as you play the tanks more, as you play the game more, you grind more lines, and then you come back and you have to face these tanks, you get frustrated because all the knowledge that you had regarding side scraping, angling, playing hull down goes out of the window. By the way, yeah, that tank, careful pen. And that light tank thought he's flanking. He thought he could take an angle. He's full health and he can distract and help his team. Was he able to do any of that? No. He just got one shot by this tank. And that was a tech tree tank as well. So this punishment for making plays is very high. I shot Achilles, TD by the way, tier 6. Shot him and set him on fire. And that's also very common when you're playing these high hash tanks, high alpha hash tanks, that you will end up setting tanks on fire because the gun caliber is higher and the module damage is also high. And yeah, try to aim this one, did not pen. I think I hit his mantlet, 122. The game's not over yet though. And again, he struggled to find a weak spot, but couldn't. I also noticed people say Dreadnought is in the game, as well as Sturm Panzer is in the game, so this tank is no big deal. Well, Sturm Panzer is a fixed turret at TD. Dreadnought, yeah, it is in the game, but it has HE. It does not have hash. Hash has higher penetration. They get more splash, and as well as more chances of penning you. Do I like Dreadnought to be in the game? I mean, it's there. It's been there for a while, and I don't care about that. Like, there's nothing that I can do. It's about the new tanks being added. Yeah, Black Prince, by the way, he penned me, and then I shot him in the side. He's gone. He thought he's top tier, and he can easily trade. The slight misjudgment by him, and he gets set on fire. Tiger 1, the most loved tier 7. From what I've seen, I think that's the most popular tier 7. Also, just get easily penned by this tank because Tiger does not have that much armor frontally, or I guess side armor is okay if you compare the side armor, but like you can still get full pen a Tiger with this tank and outtrade him. So I was able to pen multiple targets that were same tier as well as low tiers, and which I find is just unfair to people, are more frustrating. So if you're playing it, you might enjoy the tank. When you're against it, you will be frustrated. Not because you don't know how to play it, it's just the knowledge required to play this tank is way less than if you play another tank that does not fire hash. So that's it for this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Have a great rest of your day.